Reacher Season 3 has a genius replacement for Season 2's David O'Donnell, and it is not the character anyone expected. Since Season 1, Amazon's Reacher has loyally adapted most elements from the original Lee Child Jack Reacher novels. While the show's ability to capture its source material's essence is one of its biggest strengths, it also creates some narrative issues. For instance, since each Lee Child novel unfolds in a new setting and features a new set of characters, the show seems to have little room to bring back familiar faces or build lasting relationships for Jack Reacher. Since Reacher Season 3 is adapting Lee Child's Persuader, none of Season 2's characters, except Jack Reacher and Francis Neagley, are expected to return. Although Carla Dixon and David O'Donnell were great additions to the show's roster, their return seems unlikely because they are not a part of the original book's narrative. Interestingly, however, Reacher Season 2 seems to have found its new David O'Donnell. It looks like Powley will be Reacher Season 3's comic relief character. Like O'Donnell, Powley is Season 3's comic relief. Powley and Reacher had a buddy cop dynamic in Reacher Season 2, where they could not help but pull each other's legs. While O'Donnell, too, contributed to the 110th Special Investigation Unit's overarching mission, it was hard not to see him as Season 2's comic relief since he was usually the subject of ridicule for Jack Reacher throughout the season. Given how Reacher moves to a whole new setting in Season 3, it seems unlikely O'Donnell will return. However, Reacher Season 3's new character, Powley, already seems to be his perfect replacement. Reacher Season 3's trailer hints that Powley will be a villain, which seems to make him nothing like David O'Donnell. However, the trailer also features several moments where Powley and Reacher team up and have an intense rivalry, which leads to hilarious consequences for both. Every time Reacher attempts to overpower Powley with his wit and strength, and Powley finds new ways to retaliate, it is hard not to think about Reacher and O'Donnell's banter from Season 2. Does Powley being funny undermine him as a threat to Reacher? It makes him a more interesting villain. Olivier Richter's as Powley with Reacher sporting a bloody face in Season 3 custom image by Milika Georgievic. While making Powley and Reacher's dynamic funny could risk undermining him as a threat to the Alan Ritchson character, it seems to make him a more interesting villain. So far, Reacher has tried to take its villains a little too seriously, which has not worked too well for the show. Powley is almost like an antithesis to all previous villains. He is much bigger and stronger than Reacher, making him a worthy opponent for the show's titular character. In Seasons 1 and 2, Alan Ritchson's Jack Reacher could mindlessly fight the villains and still overpower them. However, in Season 3, he will have to use his brain more than his brawn to defeat Powley. As shown in the trailer, this is bound to lead to funny action sequences where Powley falls victim to Reacher's pranks while Reacher is blown away by the fact that someone much stronger than him even exists. Owing to this, it is good that Reacher Season 3 is bringing something new to the table by featuring a villain who seriously challenges Reacher and is also a source of comedy.